Ow now.
You got to get your tongue. Make sure your tongue don't get tired. You got to.
Unique, New York. Sally sells seashells by the seashore. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
A peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper.
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? A woodchuck would chuck as much wood as a woodchuck could if a woodchuck could chuck wood.
Peppers. What the pickled peppers? Pickled peppers. Peter Piper.
All right. By the way, do not step on my advertisement.
I got you. Well, I get excited.
Don't step on my advertisement.
I won't step on nothing. Just don't step on my shoes.
Do what you do.
But watch my shoes. We can shoot a podcast. Watch my shoes.
What's going on, Baton Rouge? Remember, we make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give. Red Stick Strong. What's going on, y'all? Built by the Red Stick Podcast, coming to you every Friday from Elevate Treatment and Legacy Center. Thank y'all for tuning in. Remember, we got to blow this thing up. I need you to follow, subscribe, like, share, leave a comment. Tell us how we're doing. We brought Ronnie LeDuff back. He's my, I would say pseudo co-host, man. He keeps coming back for more. We got some good stuff to talk about. Look, shout out Movements in Motion, local dance studio here in Baton Rouge. You can follow them on Movements in Motion on Facebook. Also, shout out Sidekick Shoe Boutique. You can find them on Instagram at side_kicks_BR. That's Ronnie LeDuff, my boy's shoe company. Any shoe you need, he's got you. Look, we get it out the way. It's kind of early.
I was waiting.
I know you were waiting. So it's kind of routine. We got to do the shoe of the day when Ronnie comes on the podcast. What we got today?
So today we rocking the Diamond Short Mids. Release date was yesterday, so if you missed out, it's because you didn't holler at Sidekicks. As you can see, I didn't miss out. I never do. No raffles, no lines, no waits, no BS, no confusion. Your shoes delivered, shipped, with however you need it. I'll even smile.
Those are nice. I like them. You didn't give me a pair, though.
You never asked. So I'm going to put this out there.
Oh, man.
I got receipts. I can go on my phone right now. I text this guy 3-4 days before the shoe released and was like, hey, I have your size. I have them right here. Do you want them? I didn't hear from her until he asked me to shoot today for the podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
You're lying. You're damn liar, man. Look, welcome aboard again, man.
Thank you for having me.
Like I said, if y'all need any shoes, man, go holler at Ronnie at Sidekicks, man. He's doing great things. Marketer extraordinaire, as you can tell. He's out here marketing his own company. He does some marketing for Elevate. He's in the community. He's doing some good things, man. So we got a hot topic for y'all today. We're going to hear opinions from probably everybody on this topic, but we want to bring it up because it's where we're going, right? Yes. Like it, love it, don't like it, it doesn't matter. Medical assisted treatment, man. The taboo in the recovery industry.
The word that separated recovery.
Yes, man. So I know you've been on some meetings recently. I know you've been doing a lot of things, man. What are you hearing coming down the pipeline regarding M.A.T, medically assisted treatment for anybody who doesn't know? And what we look at when we look at M.A.T is we really need to start separating it. So right. before we get into what we're hearing coming down, man, I really want to separate what people think it is versus what it is, right? There's multiple forms, right? You have your Suboxone, which a lot of people are familiar with.
Right.
New on the market, you have Sublocade, which
the injection.
I'm kind of It's one of the lesser of all evils in my mind, right?
And the Vivitrol.
Well, I'm getting to that. Okay. But I'm abstinence-based. But I do understand where M.A.T is needed. And so the Sublocade shot, it's a 30-day time released. It takes the human element out of it, right? So like you said, it's a shot of the Suboxone that kind of time releases over a 30-day period.
Over 30 days, right. It what's the word I'm looking for? It pumps a certain milligram in your body a day.
Okay.
Like you say, removing the human element out of it.
And then we, like you said, man, one of I think the lesser of all evils to abstinence-based minded people is the Vivitrol. And so, those are the opioid, and they have a little. The Vivitrol has a little play in the alcohol field.
Absolutely. If you try to drink too much, it makes you sick.
Yeah.
I didn't do it.
Well, no, it doesn't. That's Antabuse.
That's Antabuse?
That's Antabuse.
See?
If you drink on it, period,
it makes
it's old
sick.
school. It's
okay.
old school.
Okay.
Vivitrol, the medicine behind it, the science behind it is, I'm not a scientist, so I don't know, but from what I've been told.
You stayed at the Holiday Inn Express last night.
I did stay. No, I didn't. It blocks the receptors that produce the craving or the urge to use, right? And so, like I said, me and you've talked about it recently. Some of the things coming down the pipeline from the governments and stuff like that. And, people have their opinions on it when it comes to medically assisted treatment. But it is, or it seems to be, the wave of the future. It's
definitely the way that it's going. And before I dive into it, I have to, speak my experience on it. So when I got out of treatment in May 15 of 2019, I actually did partake in the Vivitrol treatment for 6 months.
Okay.
So my whole thing with M.A.T assisted treatment was what it was, assistance, but not to stay on it.
Right.
So the people that stayed on it, I was like, oh, you weak, you this and that, but I did use it for 6 months.
Right.
It helped.
Go ahead.
In a way, I was just going to say it definitely helped. What it allowed me to do is to, it did away with the cravings and the urges. So I was able to focus on my steps and focus on the things that I needed to focus on to
building
better myself,
a foundation.
and not have to fight those cravings. So I definitely am a big supporter of the Vivitrol, but like you was leading to as far as the titration, you know what I mean? We big believers in that as well. You know what I mean? We don't want to substitute one thing for another.
And I think that's the important aspect, man, is to identify that there are responsible people using M.A.T who don't have an end goal of being on it for the rest of their life.
Exactly.
Like I said, I'm abstinence-based, but really one of the things that came to my mind, and me and you talked about it on episodes in person, just different variances, is death, right?
Yes.
And so with all the death coming out, if you go to a funeral and a mom's burying her son or daughter, and you say, hey, just to poll it, and I would never do this, but just to poll it, would you have rather your child be on medically assisted treatment and still alive?
Right.
Or would you rather be burying them because they
And if we polled it, I'm sure 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
We'd rather their babies, their daughters, sons, husband, fiancés be right here with them.
Speaking of the overdose rate, man, I saw the craziest article, and we're gonna get off topic real quick, but I gotta bring it up because it's hysterical to me. I don't know if you saw it. So it was actually my mom reading me the article that I don't know if it's the police or investigation units or whatever, but the title was, with soaring overdoses, law enforcement seeks to give addicts money. And so basically what they're doing is they're creating a program to where if you turn in your drug dealer, they will pay you, I think, upwards of $1,000.
So the overdose is not going to be killing people. You're going to have a lot of homicides not leading for that, man.
Or I'm going to turn in John Doe and go to Jane Doe and buy my dope with the $1,000 the government just gave me.
Speaking of off topic, that's almost as worse as what my fiance showed me 2 days ago. So our president, I didn't vote. So I'm going to still say our president because I'm an American. He has signed a $300 million bill.
Is this real?
This is real.
Because I've seen it. I've seen it.
This is receipts. We have receipts. Joe Biden has signed a $300 million bill to give free crack pipes out to the crackheads. $300 million. It's a part of the harm reduction movement that they have going on. He's tired of the overdoses. So yeah, clean crack pipes. Dirty crack pipes is what's killing people, ladies and gentlemen. So Joe Biden has solved the riddle. Gotta love America.
Yeah.
I do love America. I'm not anti-America.
But I mean, look, we got, all these different aspects.
Yeah.
And like I said, we drifted off topic, and
we back.
It's the craziness of what the drug epidemic and opiate epidemic has created, right? Like all these people scrambling in order to try. I think there's better ways to try. I think maybe a little more dialogue between, the treatment industry and the correction industry might help. But hey, what do I know, right?
Well, that's hard because then you got all these people that's in treatment that's convicted felons. They got these backgrounds, and so it's hard to connect that.
Well, I'm talking about just connecting a conversation.
Yeah.
Look, y'all are out there, saying we're gonna pay $1,000 for people to go snitch, in lack of a term, or whatever, on their drug dealer. We're gonna pay them $1,000. Why don't we make it easier to pay for treatment?
Yes.
You know,
they're not ready for that conversation.
They're not ready for that conversation. We got everybody running on, all these politicians running on the basis of we got to end the opioid epidemic, but they're all tied into all these insurance companies, and the insurance companies make it damn near impossible to get, reimbursement for treatment provided, and then B, damn near impossible for the authorization of the number of days they're willing to treat people.
You say it all the time though, like how can you make money off of a cured patient?
You can't.
You can't make money off of a cured patient.
And so, what the conversation brings to me with all these elements is open-mindedness, right? And so I've been the closed-minded person of abstinence only. I've been that.
Yes,
I've been that. And now I've drifted. Like I said, for me, abstinence was what I needed to do. For anybody though, it might not, right? Some people might need that assistance, right, to build a foundation so that they can recover. And
that's like I told you, that was my 6 months.
Right.
But I needed that.
Right.
You know what I mean? You did an abstinence. Like I used to be afraid to talk about it. I'm like, man, I look up to this guy. He did it with nothing. Like, is my recovery worth it? But like at the end of the day, like I'm sitting next to you.
Right.
And that's to go back to the poll that we talked about. Like I'm sure my mom would have been like, okay, I'm glad he was on that Vivitrol
Get
for
on
6
the Vivitrol,
months.
right?
And here my baby is now.
And I think it also ties back to, accountability of responsible prescribing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, the doctors.
And I'm not a doctor. I didn't go to school that long. I don't know what they know. I will own that. However, I do know that putting John Doe on a large amount of Suboxone or Sublocade and just saying, hey, look, come in every month and we'll just give it to you, that's not the answer either.
Right.
Right now, it might keep people alive, which is awesome, right? I want people alive, but recovery to me and building to me is more than just being off the substance.
It is.
Right? And me and you've talked about it on multiple occasions where we identify the great things that have happened in your life, and it's not just from you being off of substances.
Right. Putting that work in and actually like growing spiritually.
Right.
Because I'm a firm believer, and again, I'm gonna speak from my personal experience. Like having the Vivitrol along with growing my spiritual life and my spiritual man, it allowed me to have that spiritual experience and that awakening that was like, hey, you know what? Like I can do this without anything. But I'm glad I had that Vivitrol to go along with it to get me to that point. Because I love how Elevate do their M.A.T program.
Right.
You can't just walk in and like get it and go home or whatever. Like you have to do some type of treatment.
Yes.
So while you're getting your medically assisted treatment to help with the urges and cravings, you're also working on your spirit, right? You're also working on your mind as well and getting to work on yourself.
And you're working on what, if we poll most people in recovery, you're working on. If you probably poll all people in recovery, actually, but you're working on what we know to be the root problem.
Exactly.
Right? Which is the underlying issues, which is the selfishness and self-centeredness, which is the character defects or whatever it may be that we discuss, the spiritual malady, as so to say. And you hit the nail on the head when we talk about needing to grow spiritually in order to recover.
Yes.
And like you said, some people need that little help, right? That little 3 to 6 months
you need a little
in order to, let the fog clear. Because if you look at it, the very first time I went to treatment in 2013, I stayed 69 days.
That's a long time.
69 days.
You had good insurance.
I had stayed 69 days. And so what we look at is treatment and the insurance and the things that have trickled down have condensed your treatment experience to 28 days.
Right.
And so you need that extra, right? Like I was able to be not locked up, but I was in the middle of nowhere,
right?
In a cow pasture in Ethel, Louisiana.
What's the name of that?
Right, place? That's Wood Lake Addiction Recovery Center.
Okay.
Beautiful place.
I know somebody just left there.
It's a great place, right? I visited there 5 times. Shout out.
So much. I had to go back 5.
And so I spent 69 days there, right? I had a little bit of time for the fog to clear. I had almost 70 days worth of intense therapy, worth of just work, being hammered the 12 steps, because it was a 12-step based program. Being able to do therapy and individual sessions and family sessions and all that. Now we're getting people in. Probably the first 2 weeks, they're just now finally starting to feel better because they're detoxing off of fentanyl and heroin and alcohol and all these benzos and stuff. Their mind's just starting to clear. So then they're doing like 14 days of minor work because you don't want to get too deep. And then we're sending them out and we're saying, hey, good luck, man.
Well, I think 28 days under Mike Oakley will be equivalent to 90 days at another treatment facility.
Stop
I was lucky enough to have 28 days of Mike Oakley, dude, and I'm straight. Like, I'm good.
But thank you. I'm working on taking compliments.
There you
just
go.
Thank you.
There you
thank
go.
you.
Let's start there.
And so, I think it's important, right, to understand like different strokes. And I think, this is probably what's gonna, butter a couple people's bread, toast, whatever. Bob, butter on both sides. Shout out to my humble beginnings, Canes
on that bird. Hey, you gotta hit.
No, I'm not dropping it. I'm not dropping it.
Okay.
So, but I believe that we gotta stop as an abstinence-based program just because it wasn't what we did.
Right.
Diminishing what other people are trying. And
I'm glad you said it like that. To go back to what you was telling me as far as the pipeline. So like if you in the treatment industry and you abstinent and you like against it, if you're going to be working in the treatment industry, you're going to have to accept it. So I was in a very, big time meeting the other day. I'm not going to say any names, but pretty much what they was talking about is like the insurance companies are they're pushing it.
Right.
They're pushing you to offer the M.A.T treatment because what the insurance companies, they're tired of people dying, I guess getting stuck with debts or, things like that. I don't know, everybody don't have life insurance, but coming down the pipeline, and it's a great thing that Elevate got a jump on the M.A.T program for free.
And look, you can go in any direction, like whether or not you think that's right, whether or not you still think that's big pharma capitalizing on it because they're the ones making it. Look, right, wrong, or indifferent, I'm not here for, those debates can be had, right? Those debates can be had. But at the end of the day, as a recovered heroin addict, I just don't want heroin addicts to die.
I'm tired of
now,
that, man.
I want them to experience the peace that I have. I want them to experience the joy that I have. And I believe that the only way to do that is to not put any substance into my body.
Right.
Zero, none. But just because of the way I got to zero, none, doesn't mean that has to be the way they get from, to none, right?
Absolutely.
If you have to go from shooting up a gram of heroin a day to taking some Suboxone strips to taking the Sublocade to being on Vivitrol to getting off of everything, isn't that the goal?
That's the goal.
Right? Like who cares if person goes A, B, C, D, and I just went A to D, right? Like who cares?
You
what
take
the
the
steps
interstate,
are.
I take the local roads. It don't matter.
It don't matter. We can both get to New Orleans.
Exactly.
I can take 10, you can take 12 to 55 or whatever it is.
That's a long route. But I get what you're saying.
Look, so is that route, but hey, look, whatever.
We there.
I'm a shortcut type guy, right? I'm just trying to take the,
But a lot of the times in today's day, man, and then you got to think like the drugs are not, you didn't have to deal with fentanyl either when you was out there.
I did.
And luckily enough, I got off the streets right before it hit. So like you really don't have time to play with this, man.
No.
And that's why I think M.A.T is really coming in handy now, because just a craving or urge away, you're a craving or urge away from an overdose, man. We lost a great person. I'm not going to say any names out of respect for the family, but like I've grown close to this person. We went to treatment together. And it hurts, you know what I mean? It was a real good person, and like this stuff is really like killing people. So like we said earlier in the broadcast, man, or the podcast, I'm sorry, like if we poll it, man, I guarantee you, that young lady's family, kids would much rather have her here.
I want to make it perfectly clear. Like, I'm not saying it's the answer, it's the end all be all.
But
by
it
no
gives
means.
it gives you that split second of thinking. You know, with us, we're a split second away from
and
making a wrong decision.
And I'm not even saying that that's gonna negate it all. Like, I'll be honest. Like, I don't think that's the answer.
Right.
I really don't. But I also don't think shunning it is the answer either.
Yeah.
Right? I believe that if, you know, in a perfect world, insurance opens their mind. The government really does what they say they want, and they give access to longer term treatment.
Right.
That's a perfect world, right? Where you have these people, you're giving them 45 to 60 days inpatient. You're giving them another 2 to 3 months outpatient. You're encouraging continued therapy. You're encouraging continued individual sessions and you know, weekly groups or whatever it may be.
Right.
You're encouraging that aspect. I don't believe that just the same thing, just adding one more thing is the solution. But like you said, at the end of the day, the 30 days just strict, it works for some people, but evidence is showing that it ain't working that well. Because they're dropping left and right.
Yes.
So let's add something else. Let's add the MAT. Let's add the medically assisted treatment. Let's give the option at least, right? Let's you know, just like the stigma for mental health and addiction had to be broke,
right?
I think the stigma for MAT has to be broke.
Exactly. You know what? That actually does kind of go hand in hand.
It does.
Like you said it like that. I didn't think about it like that.
And like you said, I mean, I am proud, right? I try not to on this platform highlight it as much, just because it's not what this is about. But I am proud to be part of Elevate, right?
Yes.
We are on what I believe to be the cutting edge. We're offering, you went to say it and I accidentally cut you off, but we're offering free MAT for people who are enrolled in IOP if that's their path that they choose.
That's amazing.
We're commingling the groups, right? We have clients that are on MAT. We have clients that are abstinence-based. They're in the same group. They're one. We're not separating it. And our treatment plan and our goal is to get them eventually abstinence-based. But look, man, at the end of the day, tired of people dying.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what they do, right?
So you telling me if I choose to get on the MAT program, right, I could come sign up for IOP at Elevate Treatment and Legacy Center, get treatment, get individual therapy, get one-on-one counseling, get the crisis intervention or whatever traumas I might be going with, get to commingle with other people and learn how to live life on life terms again, all while getting MAT treatment for free?
For free.
Man, that's a game changer. That like I say, that's being ahead of the curve of the meeting that I was just talking about. So y'all actually doing what they're finna start pushing. Y'all been doing that.
We've been doing that.
Big ball player.
And so, and like I said, I mean, this platform is not for Elevate. We are grateful that Elevate gives us the ability to host and gives us
But that's
location.
good to be able to get the options out there to the people. Because one thing I love about this platform and what you do is the voice for people like us. You never know who's scared to speak up or who's scared to say something of the fear of being judged. Because I know for me, the fear of being judged as far as being a black man intravenously using heroin, struggling for mental health and scared to talk about it because of the way that our culture is raised and just feeling like an outcast. That fear kept me in that vicious cycle for 6 years.
Right.
So that's why I love this platform because, hey, it's okay to not be okay. Like, we are here. We've been there with you. Like, we want to jump in that hole with you and show you the way out. You don't have to no longer be stuck under a bridge shooting dope. You don't have to be shut off in a room and keeping your thoughts to yourself. We struggle. And we suffer.
And I think it's important to say this, like, if you're paying attention, it's okay if your journey doesn't look like mine.
Exactly.
I support every journey. And I will be the first one to admit that it took me a while to get to that.
Yeah, because you ignored me the first time I met you. I'm like, hey, bro, you was spitting that fire.
Man, it ain't have nothing to do with that. I was busy. I was busy.
Yeah, you're right. You got to watch me walking in the hallways with nobody around. Right.
So, look, like I said, it's taken me a long time to admit that, but I'm here.
You
right?
here.
I'm learning, I'm adapting, I'm overcoming, I'm supporting, I'm willing to whatever method, right? Like,
right.
Don't get me wrong. I do not want it to be misconstrued. I will be always and forever encouraging every alcoholic and addict to drift towards abstinence-based.
That's the goal.
That is my goal.
It talks about that in the book.
However, I'm no longer going to stand by and allow people that are being treated for M.A.T. and that's part of their journey to be ostracized. Hell yeah.
I like the way you threw that word.
I threw that thing in there.
I'm going to have to go Google that after this podcast. But it felt like it go there. So I'm rolling with it.
But I will no longer allow them to be outcast, right? Because their journey doesn't look like my journey,
exactly.
man. And so, that's where I'm at. Like I said, at the end of the day, I believe in abstinence. Yes. I believe that drugs and alcohol are but a symptom of a much bigger problem.
Yes.
And I believe that M.A.T. used in the wrong way, just mask it, right? It's just
that's
trading.
True. That
it's just trading.
Can be more harmful than yes.
But used in the right way,
right?
Coupled with therapy, coupled with an inclusive, right? Everybody welcoming you into 12-step programming while on M.A.T., while with the goal of being abstinence-based. I believe that's where some change begins to happen. I believe that's where lives begin to get saved. And that's my view, but it's my podcast, so we're going to talk about my view.
But that's good to have your view, but also allow people to come on here with different views because in my mind, in my personal experience, I do believe the end goal is abstinence. But whatever it takes to get you there, whether it's M.A.T., whether it's church, whether it's somebody kicking you in the butt, just get there.
Right.
We're going to love you no matter what. The end goal is to be able to live life on life terms without having to put a substance in your body to deal with emotions or be able to express yourself.
That's the end goal.
That's the end goal.
And that's the beauty.
Yes.
And to be what we've highlighted so often on this platform, right? I've talked about it over and over and over again. My joy in this platform is to highlight the positivity, right? To highlight the success. Ronnie freaking LeDuff,
I love it when you say that name.
From suicide attempts, incarceration,
8 years,
IV heroin user,
6 years
to family man, to employee,
yes,
to
self-employed, yes,
to just a great human being. That's the beauty, right? And I've been fortunate enough to be a part of your journey
the whole way.
And I echo it every single time you come on. It's been beautiful, right? And like I said, if I'm fortunate enough to make it, I think a couple of more weeks, I'll be celebrating 6 years sober.
March 1st.
March 1st.
Yo!
And I think 3 of those years you've been a part of my life.
Right though.
And
getting ignored and all, but I ain't never stopped. I stayed
persistent. You was persistent.
I was persistent.
Hey, when you gonna accept my Facebook friend request?
Hey man, I still got the picture when we took it in aftercare the first time, like September 2019.
So
it
took
a while, bro.
So look, man, I appreciate you coming on short notice, joining me again.
Always.
You're always welcome. You become my pseudo co-host, man. It's built by the Red Stick, even though you're from Baker.
But it's still East Baton Rouge Parish. I did all my thugging in Baton Rouge, so technically I was built by the Red Stick.
Okay.
I was scared of Baker cops.
But I appreciate it, man. Come on anytime. We have great discussions.
I love it, man. I look forward to
nothing's off the table when we talk. I mean, we're both abstinence based. We both have similar opinions. But look, man, anybody who wants to come talk about M.A.T., we could talk about it. So look, like I said, man, thank you for coming and join us. Built by the Red Stick Podcast, man. Y'all tune in every Friday. We really appreciate everybody, all the love y'all have shown.
Yes.
Please, if you know anybody struggling, forward this to them. Let them watch it. Let them see that there's help, man. Shout out First Priority Medical. You can find them at firstprioritymed.com. Local, not shoe boutique, local medical facility here in Baton Rouge, man. Primary care. They have COVID tests, flu tests. They have M.A.T options. You know, we're talking about it. They have that M.A.T option. So y'all go follow them at First Priority Medical on Facebook. And then also shout out Lifted Fitness and Nutrition, right? Meal preps. You know, tell us about what they have to offer.
So first of all, whatever you desire as far as like weight loss, getting in shape, whatever you want to do, lower your cholesterol, you can have a consultant with that lady.
Okay.
And she will get you right.
Okay.
So not only is she a licensed nutritionist, she is also a pregnant now, but licensed personal trainer, man. So she have a bunch of different menu options, man, that you think might fit your needs. Or if you just want to go out there and start selecting some good healthy options, man, she got a great menu choice. And then, like I said, she'll actually do a one-on-one with you and tell her what you want, and then she will actually fit your needs to accomplish what you are trying to accomplish.
And also, man, so y'all go give them a follow. Look, like we said, please subscribe to the page, like the video, share it, and leave a comment, man. Let's grow this thing. Built by the Red Stick. We love y'all.